Surprise, Dr. J, it's me again. Welcome back to my channel, and on this episode of Brianna Meeks' YouTube channel, we are going to be discussing Assignment 7. And Assignment 7, we had two options. We could either discuss cults, or we could watch Lie to Me. And of course, I watched Lie to Me, and now I'm obsessed, and thank you for the new show to binge watch, because I am literally obsessed. So, question 1. What are microexpressions? Microexpressions are the subtle movements of the face that indicate how someone is feeling, and they're virtually the same in every single person we've got discussed. And then we've got shame. And then sadness, happiness. They're all basically the same. General subtle movements of the face that most people don't even realize they're making. They normally last like half a millisecond. And so that's why they're micro expressions. So what about one of the expressions that was shown on the overhead PowerPoint? And one of those would be shame. Once again, we saw this, I think that was Eisenhower and John F. Kennedy and someone else who I had no idea who they were, but he showed up on the projector. And then there was also Disgust Dude, the redhead man that he interviewed at the beginning, and he's like, he scrunched up his nose whenever he figured out where, what church the bomb was at. So what evidence was provided to reveal that James Lie was in fact? So James Lie essentially was the fact that he had been stalking his teacher and like taking pictures of her, and he was there the day that she was killed, but he did not kill her. And the thing that led them to figure this out is they were looking at the governor. I think he was the governor. He was somebody in the political figure, and they saw the shame on his face whenever he did this, so they were trying to figure out what it was. And whenever they compared his shame to James's, they were like, oh, it's shame, so what's he ashamed about? And this led them to the conclusion, and that's how they figured out that he was having like lustful desires for his teacher that he was ashamed about ultimately, but he did not kill her. So question 4. What observations did Rhea Torres, the TSA agent, analyze airport passengers for? The big thing that Rhea Torres was big on looking at were the different expressions and body language that people use. Like if she saw shaking, or she saw people that like furrowed their brow, she could tell that they were anxious, or if they were like pacing, which is why she called out the agent in the first place, because she's like, oh, he looks anxious, something must be up. And so that's how she got her job, essentially, with them, which is great. And then question 5, the very last question, is what did you learn about emotional expressions from this episode? And I think the biggest thing that I learned is that you can tell a lot of a person by their emotional expressions. And it's normally things that they won't even tell you themselves. Like you can tell just by looking at them, and stuff that they won't tell you themselves, you can figure out just by the way their face moves, which is really cool. And the way that this guy can do this, like, consciously and like so quickly is crazy to me and bizarre. But anyways, the show was amazing and I loved it. Thank you so much for suggesting it. And I will see you next week. Bye, Dr. J.